Good morning, students. Welcome to Vidyanagar online classes. Today we are going to discuss a new topic, that is pressure. You might be thinking why we are going to study pressure even if we have already studied about forces and types of forces. Then what is the need of studying pressure? Because the amount of force and the impact of force which you get is different in different cases. Suppose you are pushing this wall with some amount of force, and with that same amount of force you are pushing this notebook. What is the difference in both the cases? In first case, when you were pushing the wall with some force, the wall does not move. But in the second case, when you were pushing this notebook with same amount of force as you have put the force in the wall, the notebook moves up to certain distance. So we can say even though we apply the same amount of force, but the impact of the force was not same. So in order to understand the impact of force, we are going to discuss a new topic, that is pressure. So my dear students, first of all, you should know what is pressure. So pressure is nothing but the force acting on a unit area of surface. What is pressure? Force acting on a unit area of surface is called pressure. Okay? So, in mathematical terms, you can say that pressure is equal to force upon area. Any problem? So what can you say from this formula? We can say that pressure depends on two things, that is force and area. Okay? And pressure is directly proportional to force. What does this mean? This means that the greater the force, the higher will be the pressure. Means that if you increase the force, the pressure will also increase. Okay? But in case of area, pressure is inversely proportional to area. Means if you increase the area, pressure will decrease. You can understand it with some simple examples. Suppose I have a needle, okay, and I am going to pinch it in my hand. That needle, you know needle? Okay. So what will happen if I pinch that needle in my hand? I will feel pain, I get hard. But at the same time, I will take this marker and I try to pinch it in my hand. Will I get pain? Will I get hard? No. Why? In the case of needle, the surface area of the needle is very less, and because of that, pressure is more. So we get pain. But in this case, in the case of marker, the surface area is very large as compared to needle. So I did not get much pain. So we can say that as we increase the area, pressure decreases. You can take many other examples, like if you are at home and you are cutting vegetables. So which knife would you prefer? Do you prefer sharp knife or blunt knife? Yes, you will prefer sharp knife. Why is it so? Because sharp knife have small surface area as compared to blunt knife. So the pressure will be more by sharp knife and vegetables can be easily cut. Now you can take another example also. Suppose you are going to school from your home. So you will carry your school bag while going to school. So the straps, straps of the bag are made quite thick. Why? Because if the straps will be thick, that is the area of the strap will be more, the pressure on your shoulders due to heavy bag will be less. So this is because the straps of the bag are made quite thick. So do you understand what did we discuss here? We discussed that as you increase the area, pressure will decrease. Okay. Now the next thing which I want to ask you, as we already know that solid exerts pressure. So do liquids also exert pressure? Yes, liquids also exerts pressure. You can understand this with simple activity. Suppose you do one thing, you can do this activity at your home also to understand this topic better. Look at me carefully. Suppose you take this water bottle. What you have to do, now you make one hole here, okay, near the bottom of the bottle. After making hole, you do one thing, you take one cylindrical tube. After taking this cylindrical tube, you fix this cylindrical tube here, okay. And after fixing this cylindrical tube, what you have to do, you put the balloon in this cylindrical tube. And then after fixing the balloon, what you have to do, you take this bottle and fill it with water. As soon as the water starts filling inside the bottle, the balloon gets blown. Why? Because the pressure, because the water is creating pressure, water is exerting pressure on the walls of the bottle. So from this example, we can say that liquid exerts pressure on the wall of the container. You can take one more example. Suppose you have one water bottle. Now you fill this bottle with water. Okay. Now after that you make 3 holes at some intervals. So as soon as you make hole, the water start flowing out. Okay. When the water start flowing out, so you can see that why is water starts flowing? Because when you fill the bottle with water, because of the pressure exerted by the water on the walls of this bottle, due to which the water start flowing out. So with these two activities, you can clearly understand that liquids also exerts pressure on the wall of the container. Gases also exerts pressure on the wall of container. Yes, gases also exerts pressure on the wall of the container. I can explain you with simple example. Suppose you are having a balloon, okay, then you blow the balloon, okay. After blowing, what you do, you take a needle, okay, and you try to pierce it through the balloon. What will happen? As soon as you pierce the needle into the balloon will burst. Why the balloon burst? Why the air come out? Because the gas inside the balloon was exerting pressure on the walls of the balloon. This shows that gases also exerts pressure on the wall of the container. Another example you can take. Suppose you are having a balloon. Okay. Now you blow it. Now what you see, before the balloon was not blown, at that time the area of the balloon was so small. But after you blow the balloon, the area becomes so big. Why? Because of that reason only, that gases exerts pressure on the walls of the container. So from these two examples, you can clearly see that gases exerts pressure on the wall of the container. Now the next topic which we are going to discuss today is atmospheric pressure. Before moving towards atmospheric pressure, you must know what is atmosphere. So what is atmosphere? Atmosphere is simply the layers around the earth is known as atmosphere. Suppose this is earth and the layers around the earth, these layers around the earth is atmosphere. Okay, so you understand what is atmosphere? This is atmosphere. So what will happen now? I want to tell you what is atmospheric pressure. The pressure exerted by these atmospheric air is known as atmospheric pressure. So what is atmospheric pressure? Atmospheric pressure. The pressure exerted by atmospheric air is known as atmospheric pressure. Very simple. What What is atmospheric pressure? The pressure exerted by atmospheric air is known as atmospheric pressure. Okay, now you might ask where we can experience atmospheric pressure. Suppose you go to restaurant, okay, now you order for the juice or cold drink. So the waiter will serve you the juice with one straw in the glass. Okay, so now what you do, you will drink the juice with the help of that straw. While drinking through the straw, you will feel that the liquid is flowing or the juice is flowing upwards. Juice is flowing upwards. Why is that so? It is because the pressure inside the straw is reducing and the pressure inside the surface of the glass of juice is increasing. So because of that, the pressure in the straw decreases and the liquid in the straw starts flowing upwards. So this is where you can experience atmospheric pressure. So that's all in this chapter. The home assignment for you is, first question for your home assignment is define pressure. Second question is write the mathematical formula of pressure. Third question is why the edges of knife is made sharp. You have to give the reason. And the fourth question which you have to do in your home assignment is define atmospheric pressure. So these all are the questions which you have to do in your home assignments. Okay. So we will meet in the next video soon. Thank you.